Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
Person at the jail, can you state your name for the record, please?
It's Trevin Waters.
This is case number 2616SM, the People versus Trevin Portland Waters. Mr. Waters, you're here on a bench warrant for an alleged bond violation. It's alleged that you violated the no contact order between the dates of March 30th, 2026 and April 10th, 2026. You do have the right to have a contested hearing in this regard, in which the prosecutor would have to prove to the court that you did in fact violate the terms of your bond. And I believe this would be a second violation for similar behavior. Or you could plead guilty to the violation. Mr. Shantz from the Public Defender's Office is in the courtroom. Mr. Shantz, have you had the opportunity to discuss this issue with Mr. Waters?
I have, Your Honor.
And how do you wish to proceed today?
I believe you would like to plead on the bond violation.
Is that true, Mr. Waters?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any objection to that, Ms. Dull?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Waters, will you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me put your hand down. To the allegation, then, that you violated the terms of your bond by violating the no contact order between the dates of March 30th, 2026 and April 10th, 2026, how do you plead?
Guilty.
In order to accept that plea, I must have you tell me what it is that makes you guilty. So, between those dates, did you have contact with Michaela Nichols?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how did you have contact with her?
Well, originally I found out that I had sent her a video on Facebook. I actually didn't even mean to. I didn't even know that I sent it at first. I tried my best to, honor the no contact order. She sent me messages and stuff. I ignored them, and all this. Toward the end here, she reached out and she needed help. We did get our child back.
Okay.
She basically reached out. She needed a little bit of help with that. She had no other way to get any supplies. I had to give her formula and some baby wipes and some money. And so that's what happened.
So when you somehow sent her the Facebook message, did you reach out to her after that?
No, after I sent her the message, I didn't even know that I sent that original message until the 15th when the public defender told me that about something about a message. So then I went and checked and I realized that I sent it.
And then when did contact start regarding the necessary baby supplies?
It was about like this last week, about like the last like week or two maybe, that because we only got her back on the what was it? I think it was on the 4th or something. And then it was like probably like 2 weeks after that we started talking about. She started saying that she needed supplies because, yeah, she wasn't able to. She basically needed my.
How often would you communicate about that?
The last week, fairly often, just through messages.
And would you actually take the supplies to her?
I did, yes. I called a few churches to help her. I tried to get the churches to help her so I got a little bit of formula that way. But I did have to go. I did send her some cash and I brought her some wipes and some diapers and stuff like that.
And when you actually brought her the supplies, did you have contact with her, or did you just leave them on the front steps?
I did have contact with her, yes.
And how long did that contact last?
It was very briefly. It was only one time. It was just yesterday. Other than that, I haven't seen her the whole time.
So how did she get the supplies before?
That was the only time. It was just yesterday. We were talking about this stuff because but I only gave it to her yesterday.
So there had been several messages back and forth about needing the supplies over the last week or so.
Yes.
But she just got the supplies yesterday?
Yes. Well, we were talking about multiple things that because she doesn't actually have our daughter right now because her family is not trusting her to have her because she doesn't have the supplies. But they have the supplies, but they're not willing to give her the supplies. They're willing to help the brother have our child, but they're not willing to help her have our child. So that's why she's been reaching out to me, because she needs me to basically help her with the child.
Okay, so I want to make sure I understand what's going on here. And I know there had been a CPS issue, but you said you got the child back on the 4th.
Well,
Roughly.
she did.
She did. Okay, yeah. So the child went back to her. And then at some point, the child is removed from her by her family?
No, not technically removed, but rather she gave her back because she is stressed out about not having financial means or whatever, or basically it's her family is just manipulative. And
all right, so Michaela gives the child to her family because of the stress and everything.
It's her older brother.
Okay, but that happened before yesterday?
Yes, that happened, let's say maybe about, like I was saying, around 10 days ago. And that's when I started contacting again, because that's when we started contacting each other.
All right, so then the child needing supplies am I understanding that correctly, that you were giving Michaela the supplies so that she could then get the child back?
Yes.
At least in theory. So the child was being taken care of and had the supplies it needed. It just Michaela didn't have the necessary supplies. Am I correct on that?
Not necessarily, because we don't agree with them having her, and we don't want them to have her. And we are trying to get her away from them, and we have been this whole time.
As far as you know, though, that the supplies that you gave Michaela yesterday weren't going to the child at Michaela's family, correct? They would be staying with Michaela.
No, they're for Michaela to get our child back. Right.
Michaela needed them to get the child back. They weren't being given to whoever has the child now.
Right.
All right. And as far as you know, was the child receiving the necessary formula and diapers, etc., while at the family's place?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. Counsel, I know I went kind of outside of the realm there, but I wanted to get a full picture. Do you believe that Mr. Waters has provided a factual basis in which to accept the guilty plea and that the court rule has been complied with?
I do, Your Honor. The no contact, I believe, is from March 19th to April 10th, and he's talking about yesterday, which is outside of that.
I understand that, but he was saying they've been communicating for a couple of weeks about the issue,
Okay.
which would put us within the time period.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
All right. Court agrees. I do find the defendant in violation of his bond conditions. This would be a second bond violation. So, Mr. Shantz, any comment regarding bond?
Thank you, Your Honor. I think as we heard, Mr. Waters is just trying to do what he believes is in the best interest of his child. I don't believe he is trying to flout the court's order in any way. I just think he's a young parent of a young child that doesn't really have a lot of direction at this moment, and is just trying to do what he thinks is right. I think there's a little bit of resignation that after he realized he had sent that initial Facebook message that, well, I'm already in trouble, so I might as well just try to be a good father. I don't think there was any type of purposeful trying to break from what he's told me, purposely trying to break the no contact order. He tried his best to not be around her in person. Obviously, that's not the same as abiding by the no contact order, but I do think it speaks to his overall intent to try to do his best to toe the line, if you will. We just asked that. I believe his original bond was $10,000, and I believe he's lost his job since this all took place. So I know that's a lot of money to him, so we would request that bond be continued. I don't believe he has intention on. He turned himself in yesterday. He's been living in the area for quite a while. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Dull?
Your Honor, this is not my case. I was asked to cover this case. Looks like we are waiting for other reports for other violations of the no contact. There was a witness who saw the victim get into a vehicle with the defendant yesterday. I think he's minimizing his contact. I think that he has no intention of following the court's orders. He's already been here before for a violation of the no contact plea guilty. Bond was set at a monetary amount, which he still violated continuously during the proceedings. If he is so concerned about the money part of it, then he should have not violated bond. I think his conduct is clearly showing that he has no intention of following the court's order. So I'm asking the court to remand him pending resolution of this case. I believe there's a note that says the trial date is May 1st, so I think they're still in the time frame.
Yeah, I think we're set for final pretrial again on it tomorrow, aren't we? Yeah.
Your Honor, I have no faith, based on his conduct so far, that he will be able to follow the court's order. So I believe that is the only way that we can ensure that he is not continuously violating the no contact order. And with regards to specifically the text message, or I'm sorry, the message that was sent going to help at court, I think that shows his intent to try to persuade the victim in this case to
Can I speak on that?
better for him in court.
So, I saw that message that falls out of the time period in what we're charged with here as far as the violation. So I'm not necessarily going to take that into consideration because I do know there were some other issues going on with CPS and the like. So I don't know exactly what that goes into as far as the meaning behind that message.
I just meant for her to show up to court and, I didn't mean help as in that way. I just meant help as in show up to court. That was the day that our court was scheduled, was the 19th. So I meant like, are you going to help with court? Like as in show up to court with me? I was just basically reminding her that it was, that I had court that day. That's all. And I wanted to speak about the fact that about the supplies that her brother has. He does have the means as far as, like financial means. He has a lot more financial means than my girlfriend does, but we don't approve of what he's doing, and we don't want him to have her. So it's not just a.
I understand. I understand.
And
So-
we're worried about him.
When did the child go with Michaela's family?
I don't know I don't know what date it was, but once she told me that, that's when we started contacting. That's when
When did you learn about it?
it was about a week ago or 10 days ago, around there.
Okay. And you learned that the child had already been with the other family, correct?
Yes.
All right.
With the brother.
Okay. The court is going to revoke bond, remand the defendant to the custody of the Wexford County Jail. I believe that's appropriate given that this is a second violation for a violation of the no contact order.
For trying to help my little baby.
The communication is in violation of the no contact order. There is no indication that the child was in desperate need of the supplies where it was currently staying.
It's not
believe
about
they're
the
probably
supplies.
Mr. Waters. It's my turn now. I believe that had the situation been different and the child was living at the parental home, then there may have been the need to get the supplies there. But where the child was in the care and custody of someone who had adequate supplies to take care of it, I do not find that there was the need to violate the no contact order repetitively over the last couple of weeks. So as such, I do find that the defendant is going to, the likelihood of him to continue to violate the court's orders are strong, and therefore he will be remanded to the custody of the Wexford County Jail. And Mr. Waters, just a reminder that even though you are being housed in the jail, that no contact order still does apply. And the jail does review and record phone calls. So if you do attempt to contact her again while in the jail, you could find yourself to be in violation of another condition.
Yeah,
Next,
Your Honor,
Raymond.
just because
Next to Raymond, please.
I send a little Facebook video, an accident I swear. Brought some wipes and formula just to show I care. But the judge didn't buy it, said my excuses were stale. Now they revoked my bond and sent me right to Wexford County Jail. Wexford County Jail. Yeah, I'm heading to the Wexford County Jail.